Could Gyutaro be the Upper Moon 4? This is a question I get quite often, as a lot of people believe that Gyutaro has the power of a moon level 4, like Hantengu and Nakime. And now let's analyze some of Gyutaro's abilities and see whether or not we can make him have the power of an Upper Moon 4. So without further ado, let's go to the video. After the Infinity Castle arc, we have a very important phrase from Muzan Kibutsuji that opens the meeting of the Upper Moons. Muzan says the following: Gyutaro is dead, the Upper Moons have waned. I figured Gyutaro would lose. As expected, Daki was holding him back. Gyutaro would have won if he had been the one fighting to begin with. He could have just poisoned them in the beginning so they couldn't keep fighting. Well, it doesn't matter anymore. Worthless. He had too much humanity in him, so he lost. In this sentence, Muzan confirms three important things for us. First, Gyutaro was the true Upper Moon 6 and not Daki, although Gyutaro never assumed himself as the Upper Moon 6 individually. Second, Gyutaro could have beaten the Slayers easily if he had fought without Daki's help. Third, Daki was a hindrance to Gyutaro. She retarded his growth. At that moment, we can understand that Gyutaro had a greater potential that was shown, and also he was the youngest among the Upper Moons. Gyutaro is also said in the fanbook to be one of the Muzan's favorite moons, being someone who had a genuine hatred for humans. When we look at Daki and Gyutaro together, we have only one certainty. Gyutaro is ridiculously stronger. While Daki could barely keep her head close to her neck against Uzui, Gyutaro could not only fight but could have killed the Sun Hashira if he had fought from the start. The difference between these two was very clear, and Daki somehow hindered Gyutaro's evolution, as he somehow prioritized making his sister stronger, as noticed by Muzan himself during chapter 74. Gyutaro made Daki strong enough to eat 7 Hashiras, while he, even without focus, ate 15 of them. That's the difference between these two. And Gyutaro sure would have gotten ridiculously stronger if he was the demon that had got the action, and Daki was the submissive one that stayed inside him most of the time. In this formation, Gyutaro would have killed more, eaten more, and would have been much stronger, hardly losing a battle by losing his head, and even if he lost his weak sister, it could make him immortal. But after all, Gyutaro has an Upper Moon 4 level. Well, we have 3 competitors above him: Nakime and Hantengu, who by themselves were Upper Moons 4, and Gyouko, who was the Upper Moon 5. Regarding Gyouko, in my view, Gyutaro had everything to overcome him. Gyutaro's poison was more lethal than Gyouko's poison, where we see it by the poison's target. Tokito was a small guy, physically much smaller than Uzui, and someone who never had any resistance to poisons created during his lifetime. Soon, Uzui felt the effects of Gyutaro's poison, even though he was a shinobi, something that surprised Gyutaro himself, who pointed out Tengen as someone talented, since at the short time 15 Hashiras had already died in the past. Gyutaro's poison seems to be a poison made to kill instantly, while Gyouko's poison seems to be something done to kill its target in the worst ways possible, as even with the poison, Gyouko decided trying to kill Tokito by drowning him. In terms of area of action, Gyutaro and Daki as Upper Moons were also well matched to Gyouko, while Moon 5 used fishes to act in several places at the same time. The Upper Moon 6 simply created separate consciousness in sashes, so at least he could clearly be at Upper Moon 5 level. Now let's see whether or not Gyutaro could be the Upper Moon 4. First, I want to talk about Hantengu. Gyutaro was definitely weaker than Hantengu. Hantengu is a very complex and versatile demon, practically a natural enemy for any human. someone who not only adapts to the environment, but someone who makes the environment his defense. Hantengu's main body, unlike Daki and Gyutaro, is always hidden, he never shows up. To eliminate Hantengu, it takes a lot besides luck. He was the first demon that required the transparent world to be defeated, because fighting his main body is not simple. No matter how good the Slayer instincts were, the main body always hid his presence, whether inside the environment or inside another body. I would risk to say that Gyuumi, marked with no transparent world, wouldn't be able to deal with him in a one-on-one combat. Unlike Gyutaro, who despite the restriction of having to cut him and his sister together to be defeated, he had the disadvantage that his sister was always close to him and normally within the Slayer's field of view. Apart from that, Hantengu's Kikijutsu also covers a larger area than Gyutaro's, being able to create a favorable environment for himself in the worst of situations. Now, in relation to Nakime, here we have an excellent balance. Nakime is a support type demon that works the space around her and creates a domain of her own, where she practically acts ubiquitous, showing a great intelligence when manipulating the castle combat, creating several situations favorable to the demons. All of that while facing two Hashiras at the same time, in this case Obonai and Mitsuri. If the fight was limited to Obonai and Mitsuri versus Nakime, the only certainty we would have was Nakime's clear victory over these two, since she could extend the fight for years, or as long as she prefers, or simply let them fall into a free fall created on the spot. Nakime was perhaps Muzan's greatest war tool, or at least was among the greatest. Gyutaro would have the power to rival her, because of Nakime's nature and Gyutaro's speed, but by no means Gyutaro would have the same tactical and strategic potential that Nakime had to win a battle. So, concluding everything to be clear, Gyutaro did have the potential of an Upper Moon 4. He definitely had everything to overcome Gyokkou, but with Nakime and Hantengu there, it would be impossible for him to assume the number of the fourth strongest moon. That's it guys, this was our video about the Upper Moon 6 Gyutaro. Leave here in the comments what do you think. Could he be the Upper Moon 4? Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe for the channel, and as always, see you next time.